Just allowing yourself to be here, to arrive. We will be moving through an hour of nurturing flow this morning. Just allowing yourself to start to connect with your breath, start to become more aware of your bodies. Already here starting to create the mind-body connection. We'll lengthen our breaths by maybe 2 or 3 seconds. So as you breathe in, maybe breathe in for 4 to 5 counts, sitting up just a little bit taller. And as you breathe out, try to breathe out for that same amount of time, 4 to 5 breaths. So emptying out all the air out of your lungs, breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly breathing out through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding for 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Noticing where your awareness is going. Trying to really soften over the face. The temples, the space in between your eyebrows are soft, as well as your eyes, your cheeks, your mouth, your jaw. Imagining a baby's face, completely open, ready, receptive, maybe even a little bit friendly. Sending that open feeling, that feeling of receptiveness towards your entire body. Doing a little body scan here, from the crown of your head all the way down towards the tips of your fingers and toes. If you can find any tension, see if you can dissolve, release, and let go. Checking in with yourself. Oftentimes when we do things, we have agendas. See if you can maybe just treat the practice this morning with a sense of openness, a sense of exploring and investigating. Allowing that soft feeling to brush through your entire body. Just there where you are, you can hold on to your knees. You're very welcome to keep your eyes closed, or you can slowly open your eyes, just softly gazing. Nice firm grip either on the legs or the knees. Taking your chin down towards your chest, allow your head to be heavy, a little bit of a compression with your chin to your chest. You'll feel that the back of your neck starts to lengthen. Lift your shoulders to your ears. Now roll your shoulders forward, push them forward more towards your cheeks. Pull your ribs and your belly in and start to lean back. If you have your eyes open, your gaze would be to your belly button. Otherwise, if your eyes are closed, just imagining looking down at your belly button. Start to shift the weight further back into your bum. Maybe now your legs are coming further away from the floor. Maybe your ankles are feeling a little bit lighter as you stretch and round through your entire back. Keep lifting up through your belly. Pulling onto your knees or your legs. Bending into your elbows. Pull yourself forward. As if you want to pull your chest forward through your shoulders. As if you want to almost start to make a forward fold over your legs. Then diving up with your chest, lifting your gaze or lifting your head. And try to slide your shoulders away from your ears, giving a light hug with your shoulder blades towards each other. Chin to chest, roll your shoulders forward, pull your belly in, lean back, round your back, seated cat-cows. On your breath in, pull yourself forward. Lift your chest, diving up, deep breath in. As you breathe out, chin to chest, take yourself back down again. Breathing in, lifting up through the spine, opening up wide through the collarbones. And breathing out, rolling chin to chest. In your own time, moving through a few more rounds, maybe diving a little bit further forward this time, maybe leaning a little bit further back. Deep breath in as you lift your chest and squeezing all the air out of your lungs and your belly as you close off and stretch your back body. Meeting me back in the center line. Starting with a few rotations, making circular movements, bringing your left shoulder to your right knee. Circling forward through the center line, bringing the right shoulder to the left knee. Leaning backwards, holding onto those knees, and again bringing the left shoulder to the right knee, the right shoulder to the left knee, continuing with a few circles. Basically just rolling around the axis of your spine, around the axis of your hips. Trying to keep the bum connected to the floor. And when you're ready, you can change direction. Use your hands to pull and push here. Keep your lower belly nice and tight to keep your bum steady on the mat. Maybe a few half circles. Right shoulder to left knee, left shoulder to right knee, just rocking yourselves forward. Allowing the little back muscles to start to feel a stretch. Starting to wake them up. And then meeting me back up seated. Opening your arms up nice and wide like eagle arms or whichever other bird of your choice this morning. Reaching your chest up, taking a mini back bend. Leaning back, tracing your gaze up towards the roof, not too far up, just keeping the back of your neck slightly extended and long. Start to pull your arms back behind you, squeezing your shoulder blades together. On your breath out, chin to chest, reach your arms forward ahead of you, squeeze your palms together around your back. Breathing in, opening, flapping the arms wide, lifting your chest, mini back bend. Breathe out, reach your arms forward, chin to chest. Flap the wings open, breathing in. Nice soft hands. Breathing out, reach forward, pull your chest and your belly back, chin to chest. Breathing in, opening up the arms. Reach your chest up, reach your arms further back. As you breathe out, chin to chest. Reach your arms forward. This time, interlace your fingers. Lift your fists up as you sit tall, lifting those fists to the roof. Turn your palms up to the sky, straightening out through your arms. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Nice. Now lower and drop the shoulders, pulling your arms to the back of your head, almost trying to get your shoulders behind your ears. Chin to chest, and slowly lifting back up again. Releasing your hands, bringing your hands out to the side again. Reaching your arms back behind you. Interlace your hands behind your back. Going to interlace the hands behind the back. Straightening the arms as much as you can, and then starting to pull the fists away from your bum. Squeezing into the lower belly. Taking a big breath in as you sit tall. And as you breathe out, start to fold forward. Bring your forehead down onto a block, a pillow. Maybe it hangs in the air, maybe it's on the ground. And then reaching your arms all the way overhead. Taking 3 easy big belly breaths. You're going to need those breaths here. On your next breath out, squeeze your belly in and pulling yourself back up to center. Release your arms, give them a little shake if they need it. Bring the soles of your feet to touch, making a diamond shape with your legs. So maybe pushing the heels just a little bit further ahead of you, grabbing hold of your ankles. Feel as if you're pulling your bum and your heels towards one another. This will lift you up. If you get a nice firm grip on your ankles, you can pull on your ankles so that you can pull your bum forward, and then maybe just press the knees out to the side. Sipping up through the lower belly, take a big breath in. As you breathe out, reach forward, fold forward. Maybe even use your elbows to press into your calves or your knees. Keeping a nice flat back until the last moment you can release your forehead down towards your toes or your feet. Noticing where your shoulders are at. Maybe bring a little bit of movement with the shoulders, lifting them to the ears, pulling them down and away from the ears, lifting them to the ears, away from the ears, or maybe even inviting a little bit of more movement, moving your head from side to side. Gently rolling yourselves back up again. Draw your knees in towards each other. Get your heels nice and close to your bum. Wrapping your arms forward around your shin. See if you can grab hold of opposite elbow. Once you've got opposite elbow, bring your forehead down towards your knees. Giving yourself a nice little tight hug. Breathing in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming back up again. Again, get the soles of the feet together. Allow the knees to drop out in cobbler's pose or butterfly legs. Shifting your feet a little bit slightly further ahead of you. We're going in for a second round, either holding onto the tops of your feet or your ankles. Breathing in, lifting yourself tall. Pull your shoulders back as if you want to first touch your chest to your feet. Diving forward, forward, forward. And at the last moment, releasing your forehead down. Holding it for 4 steady breaths. Sending your knees down towards the ground. And bring yourselves back up again. With your peace grip, so that's your index finger and your middle finger, bring it in between your big toe and your middle toe, like a pistol grip, gripping around your big toe, and then we'll do the same on the other side. Okay, just shifting yourself a little bit forward onto your mat. If you are in the front of your mat, that's perfectly fine. Lifting your right foot off the floor, followed by your left foot. If that's not for you this morning, doing one foot at a time, one leg at a time. So seeing if you can find balance, keeping a steady gaze, putting light smile on your face, approaching your practice with a little bit of play, a little bit of maybe what's the word that I'm looking for? Maybe just a little bit of lightness instead of being so serious all the time. All right. If you've got the legs up, maybe even try to straighten one leg, bending it back in, straightening the other leg. Or if you want, you can maybe even straighten both legs. If you've got one leg down and one up, just try to balance that bottom heel also away from the floor, and then doing the same on the other side. Guys, if you're still with me, staying nice and strong, lifting up through your chest, and bringing the heels down to the ground. Okay, you can just watch me quickly, because there's a few ways that we can do this. So we'll lift the legs back up again. You'll take a very slow roll, very controlled through the belly, with legs either straight or bent. Okay, I'm going to demo it with straight legs. So you're going to pull your belly in, roll down your spine until you can take your feet over your head in a plow position, still holding on. In your plow position, once you're there, don't look at the screen again. That's why I'm showing you the options now. So the second option would be to keep the legs bent, roll, 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 keep the legs bent, but still pull the legs overhead. Or you can, if you feel like you're not getting the roll back and you're coming up again, you can roll, 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 put your hands down, push into your hands, hold your hips at the back, and then support the back, maybe just softening your knees to your forehead. It's okay, it doesn't matter if the legs or the feet touch the back. Okay, so give it a try. So you can also just keep your soles of your feet down, roll, support behind the lower back, taking your feet over, or maybe challenging yourself, even if it takes you a couple of times, rolling backwards, backwards, straightening the legs if you reach the back, if you can. And if you got it with holding on to the toes, if you've got the toes, see if you can keep the legs wide behind you. So again, you guys can go for it, but just don't look at the screen. You can really open your legs nice and wide, stepping them really, really wide. If you do have the toes on the ground, try to push your heels to the floor. Make 100% sure that you're on your shoulders and not on your neck in this position. Maybe just rolling yourself a little bit down more onto your shoulders. Those who are supporting the lower backs, just maybe keep the knees soft and bent. Otherwise, you're also welcome to see how it feels or how it is for you to straighten your legs out. What sometimes helps me is to create a little bit of space between my chin and my chest by wiggling the two away from each other. Holding it for a few more breaths. If that's not for you, you might have an injury. You can also choose to do happy baby. So holding with your elbows onto the insides of your knees, your hands on the outsides of the feet. I'm doing a quick demo if you want to see. Head down, pulling your knees towards your armpits. Okay, we've got 3 more breaths. Okay, stay wherever you are, whether it's in a plow pose or whether it's in happy baby. If you're in plow position, you'll just straighten your legs up to the sky, reaching your hands down your sides. If you're in the plow position, everyone hold onto your lower back. Don't look at me. We'll lift into a shoulder stand. So lifting your legs up to the sky, coming into an inversion. Nice. See if you can walk your elbows in towards one another. Maybe you can even interlace your hands behind your back if you're in the shoulder stand, and push your palms together to get your shoulders closer together. Then you can keep them interlaced behind your back on the floor, or you can go back to supporting more your middle back and your upper back. Otherwise, stay with your hands and your lower back. Those guys that were in Happy Baby, keep your feet in the air, and you guys will start to roll through the ankles, maybe flex and point. If you're in plow, you want to do that, you're welcome to. But if you're in plow, I also really want you to focus on getting a straight line from your shoulders to your hips to your heels. So to do that, you have to really squeeze your bum and your belly and lift your legs up as high as you can. We've got 5 more breaths to go here. So steadying the breath, slowing down the breath but deepening the breath, finding that focus point, whether you're focusing on your breath or the tips of your toes. Two more breaths. If you're in shoulder stand, just taking your legs back overhead again. Palms pressing down into the mat. You can slowly start to roll yourself down again. So coming down, rolling down the upper back, the middle back. Try to do it as slow as possible and try to keep your legs as straight as possible. Maybe even if you get to the point where your feet are over your hips, you can bend your knees to bring your feet down to the ground. Otherwise, keeping the legs straight, keep pushing your lower back into the floor. So those guys that are in, or that were in Happy Baby with the legs up at the last point, you guys can also very, very slowly lengthen your legs out onto the mat. Maybe you find a little shake like I just did until you can finally lie down onto the floor. Once you're down, you'll slide your legs back up onto your mat for me, keeping your feet hip distance apart. So that's 2 fists in between your feet. You can stay down on your backs. Make sure, oh, sorry about that. Make sure that your feet, see, it's this thing. Make sure your feet are underneath your knees. Pardon, guys. Hands pressing down into the floor. Pressing into your hands and into your feet, you'll lift your hips up to the sky. And then either keep pressing into your palms and your feet or interlacing your hands behind your back, walking your shoulders in towards one another, maybe even pulling your heels towards your hands and pulling your shoulders down towards your heels. Squeezing your knees in towards one another. Just below your belly button, I want you to squeeze and push down just below the belly button. Lifting the bums up just a little bit more, almost there. If you've interlaced, release your hands next to your sides. Slowly rolling down first the upper back, middle back, and the lower back. Moving in for wheel posture. If that's it in your practice, don't worry, I will guide you through it. Stay exactly where you are, except this time, reaching your arms up to the sky. Reaching your arms back behind you as you bend your elbows. Put your hands next to your ears with your fingers pointing down towards your heels. So you're still lying on your back. Arms go up, bending the elbows. Put your hands, your palms next to your ears, flat on the ground. Your fingers point down towards your bum or your heels. Right. Draw your elbows in towards one another. Maybe pigeon your toes for me just a little bit. Okay. Now start to really feel that you're pushing into your feet and into your hands. Lift your hips back up to the sky like we did with the bridge position. Getting the hips up. Now start to press into your hands. Maybe feel that your head and your shoulders are light on the mat and stay here. Or maybe lift yourself to push yourself onto the crown of your head. Or maybe straighten your arms, coming into your full wheel expression for the morning. Wherever you are, steady breaths. You have to first be very present with where you are at the moment to be able to progress. So curiously examining or exploring almost where you're at with this posture, where you can go with this posture, how you feel about this. Are you excited to get into a different variation of this posture? Trying your best. We're building strength here, so really hugging those elbows, pushing into the hands, and then chin to chest. You can slowly start to bring yourselves back down onto your backs. Once you're on your back, you can draw your knees into your chest, giving yourself a tight hug. Lifting your forehead, connect your forehead to your knees for a moment, and then placing your head back down to the ground. Gently rocking yourselves from side to side, massaging the muscles that run alongside the spine, down the side, the right side and the left side. Releasing your grip over your knees and your shins, bringing your legs into a tabletop position, knees over hips, shins so that you can balance a cup of tea, and then opening your arms. If you don't have that much space, you can bend your elbows, so making a T position with your arms, with your hands in line with your shoulders. Squeeze your inner thighs, your knees. Really pull your belly in, push your lower back down into the mat. I really want you to keep that squeeze in the belly. Now slowly start to take your knees over towards your right hand side. Very, very slowly. You'll see the left knee slips behind the right knee. Try to pick the left knee up, slide it forward. It's like they're racing against one another. Keep pushing the left knee forward, keep lowering the legs, and then place them down onto the ground. You can also put a pillow underneath your knees in this posture if you need a little bit of a lift. And then trying to push your left shoulder down to the ground. Close your eyes. Feeling that bit of space that you've created from your left armpit towards your left hip. And the back of the head nice and heavy on the mat. Can you hear those lovely little hadi-das in the back there? Pull your belly button in. Really press down through your lower back, using the strength of your belly to pull your knees back up to center. Keep the momentum going as you take the legs over towards your left hand side. Again, it's a race. Get the right knee up to the left knee. You can keep your gaze up to the roof, or if you want to, you can maybe gaze back towards your right hand. Feeling a nice opening over your right rib cage. Good. Squeeze the belly in, squeeze the legs together as you bring your legs back to center. One more time. Lift your head in your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins, grabbing your elbows, your forearms. Then as you squeeze your thighs into your chest and your belly, place your head back down to the ground, flex into your feet. The sound's a little bit tricky. It's not really. Just get your head wrapped around it. Start to push with your knees up into your arms, but at the same time, pull down with your arms into your knees. So it's a bit of resistance. Push up with your knees into your arms and then pull down with your arms into your knees. Keep the feet flexed. Getting the spine down into the ground. Right, you can release your knees and then just rock yourself up or roll over to your side, coming in back into a seat, rolling yourself over onto your knees, meeting me in a box position. Hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees over the hips. Start to push the hips over towards the right hand side. You might feel a stretch over your right bum, maybe right hip. Pull the knees back, the hips back to center, push the hips over towards the left hand side. Feeling a nice big stretch over your left butt, maybe. And coming back to center. Right, make sure that your fingers are spread really nice and wide and that you're clawing to the mat. Squeeze your belly, squeeze your bum, step your right foot back into a high plank. Step your left foot back to meet your right foot. Push your heels back behind you. Push into your hands, squeeze your belly, lift your belly in. And lift your hips up to the sky. Lowering your heels down. Paddle your dog, bending into one knee, bending into the other knee. Walking out your dog. Maybe even gazing up towards your belly or moving your head from side to side. Swaying the hips from one side to the other side. Feeling the weight distribute from your right foot, right hand to your left foot, left hand. Pressing the belly back towards the thighs and bringing your knees back down onto the mat. Warming up through the wrists. Turn your fingertips out to the side. Bring your wrist to touch. Fingertips out to the side. Wrist to touch. Squeeze your belly, squeeze your bum. Pressing the backs of your feet into the floor. Shifting your shoulders to the right hand side. So you're shifting and leaning the weight into your right hand. Like we did with the seated rolls. Roll your shoulders forward so you can feel the weight shift into your right thumb. Come through the center. Feel the weight in your left thumb. All the way through the left fingers, feeling the weight go through the knuckles, sinking your bum back towards your heels, feel the weight in the pinkies as you go back over towards your right hand side. So making full circles with your shoulders over your wrists. Changing your direction. Coming back to center, just rocking back, pushing your bum back to your heels, rocking forward, shoulders forward over the wrists, taking the bum back to the heels, bring your bum up, shoulders forward, releasing your hands. Give your right hand a little bit of a shake and a rotation. Then coming onto the back of your right hand, so you'll flip your right fingers towards your right knee, onto the back of the right hand. Gently rocking backwards and forwards, just applying as much pressure as feels right for you. Release your right hand, shake your left hand, maybe a few rotations. Come onto the back of your left hand, fingertips pointing to the left knee, rocking yourself back and forward. And releasing the left hand. Okay, if you need to give your hands a little bit of a shake again, your arms, just to release some tension. Step your right foot back into a high plank followed by your left. Lift your hips up to the sky, coming into your downwards facing dog. From your downwards facing dog, lift as high as you can onto your tippy toes, and then push your heels back down to the ground. Breathing in, lifting high up onto your tippy toes. Press your heels down to the ground. One more time. Lift high up onto your tippy toes. Press your heels down to the ground. Lift high onto your tippy toes, but this time come down and put your knees onto the floor. Shift your shoulders forward over your wrists. Push your bum forward. Release the backs of your feet. Bend your elbows. Let them touch your side rib cage. Squeeze them in. Keep your bum up. Slowly lower your chin and your chest to the floor. If you can, keep your bum in the air. Slide yourself forward and through, lying flat on your belly. Breathing in, press lightly into your hands, lift your chest up. Make sure you're squeezing your bum, pressing the backs of your feet into the mat, and hug your shoulders together. Chin to chest, push yourself away from the mat, onto your knees, curl your toes in underneath, sit your bum onto your heels, bring your forehead down to the ground. Breathing in, lift your hips up to the sky. Lift high onto your toes. Roll forward back into your plank, put your knees down onto the ground. Release the backs of your feet. Bring your shoulders forward over your wrists. Bend your elbows, lowering your chin and your chest slowly down to the ground. Pull yourself through. Breathe in, lift your chest up. Hug your shoulders back, hug your elbows into your side. Chin to chest, pushing onto your knees, curl your toes under, forehead goes down to the ground. Lifting your hips up. One last little vinyasa for the morning. Lift up onto your toes, roll forward, bring your shoulders over your wrists, bring your knees down. Release the backs of your feet, lean forward, get your chin and your chest down, hug your elbows in, bum stays up in the air, slide yourself forward and through, lifting up through your chest. Shoulders down and away from the ears, lift up, chin to chest, push onto your knees, curl your toes in underneath, lift your hips back up into your downwards facing dog. Take a little breather, reset, deep breath in through the nose, open your mouth and sigh it out. Elephant walk, we're going backwards onto our mat. So walking your hands back towards your feet, staying in a forward fold. Bending into your knees, allow your belly to drape over your thighs, making connection with your belly onto your thighs. Gazing back in between your legs. Shaking your head out, yes, no, yes, no. So you're going to just stay down in your forward fold, bending your knees as much as you need to. Give yourself a little wiggle. Great. Walking your hands back forward onto your mat. Bringing yourself into a strong plank position. Place your knees down, your chin and your chest to the floor. Pull yourself through onto your bellies. Lift up through your chest. Remember to release the backs of the feet. Chin to chest, roll up onto your knees. Curl your toes underneath. Bum to heels, lifting your bum back up into your downwards facing dog. Again, we'll go backwards onto our mat. So elephant walk the hands back, shake your bum from side to side. This will help you with a bit of momentum. Stay down in your forward fold. Nice generous bend in the knees. Holding onto your ankles, the backs of your ankles. Breathing in, straightening out your back. Pull your shoulders away from your ears, pull your belly in. On your next breath out, fold forward, using your hands around your calves or your ankles to hug your belly a little bit closer towards your thighs, gazing back in between your legs. Again, breathing in, straightening your back, lifting your chest, lifting your back. Use your back muscles to lift your back a little bit higher. Squeeze your bum, breathe out, pull your belly to your thighs, fold forward, gaze back in between your legs. Let's go again. Breathe in, straighten your arms out, pull your belly in, stretch the crown of your head forward, squeeze your bum, squeeze your belly. Breathe out, pull your belly to your thighs, pull your head back in between your legs. Gently rocking your weight from your heels to the balls of your feet and your toes. Easy, steady breaths in and out through the nose. Bring your mind to a point of focus. Being here right now. Might feel a sense of discomfort. And that's okay if you do. I think we're all experiencing some discomfort in one way or another. And just staying with that, observing the sense of discomfort, allowing yourself to push through and grow through that space. As we walk our hands back forward onto our mats, into a high plank, placing the knees down, release the backs of the feet. Shoulders forward over the wrists, bend the elbows, chin and chest come down to the ground. Like you're pushing a stone with your nose, or rolling a stone with your nose. Flat onto your belly, push your nose forward, lift up through your chest. Pressing into your hands, shoulders away from the ears. Chin to chest, push to your knees, curl your toes in underneath. Forehead comes down to the ground. Lifting your hips back up into your downwards facing dog. One more time. Walking your hands back towards your feet. Bending your knees as much as you need to. Just stay with the practice, stay with your breath. Really rooting down through your feet. Taking your left hand onto your right shin or right foot. Taking your right hand, reaching it forward out in front of you. Circle the right arm up towards the roof. If you would like to, you can lift your chest just that few centimeters up higher. And if you want to take a little bit further from there, maybe turn your gaze up towards your right hand. Straightening out one leg, bending into the opposite, doesn't matter which side. And then bending into the other knee, straightening the opposite leg. Bringing your legs so that both knees are equally straight or equally bent. Taking that top arm, reaching it even a little bit further back behind you. Bringing your right hand down onto the left shin, the left foot. Reach your left arm forward ahead of you. Lift yourself up into a halfway lift. You've got to really squeeze your legs and your belly. Circle your left arm up to the sky. Breathing in. Lift your chest a few more centimeters. Maybe gaze up towards your top hand. Opening up the top hand, lean slightly backwards, bending into one knee, straightening one leg. Straightening the bent knee, bending the other leg. Now keeping both knees equally straight or equally bent. And bringing your left hand back down to the ground. Holding onto your forearms or your elbows. Nice generous bend in the knees, feeling buoyant through the knees. Relax your head. Gently swaying your bum from side to side. Releasing your head, shaking your head out, yes, no, yes, no. Walking your hands back forward into your high plank. Take a big breath in as you breathe out, knees, chin and chest to the floor. Breathe in, scoop yourself forward, lift your chest up. And as you breathe out, chin to chest, push to the knees, curl the toes under, lift the hips back up into your downwards facing dog. So this is now really the last round. Start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Bending your knees as much as you need to, guys, here. It's really important to honor your bodies and to protect your bodies. Remember about the agenda that we spoke about in the beginning of the class. Just approaching your practice with curiosity, sense of joy, happiness, openness. Start to heel toe your feet to the outside edges of your mat. And then see if you can, if you have space, heel toe them a little bit further off the side edges of your mat, getting a nice wide stance straddle. Pigeoning the toes in towards one another. Make sure the knees are bent, the legs are strong and supporting you. Squeeze your bum as much as you can, almost like a dog pulling its tail in underneath. Reaching your arms back behind you, interlace your hands behind your back, pulling your arms over the back of your head. Pull your belly closer to your legs. Try to pull your belly in between your legs, that triangle that your legs are creating. Try to pull your chest in between the triangle, your head, so that you can maybe look up at your own butt. Keep pulling the arms over the back of the head, working them towards the floor. Taking a few slow, easy breaths. See if you can isolate the movement from your shoulders and your scapulars, your shoulder blades. So trying to pull them together at the back and down your spine. And then using the strength of your belly to pull your belly closer to your legs. And then using your hands to pull closer to the ground. Holding it for 4 more steady breaths. And releasing your hands back down to the ground. Heel toe your feet to each other so that your feet are about hip distance apart. And then let's bring them all the way together. So bring your toes to touch and your heels to touch. Bring them a little bit closer. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to. Kick your right foot forward so you can keep the knee bent, but you want you to lift the right foot off the mat. This can be quite tricky, but lift the right foot off the mat. Remember, you can bend the knee. Kick the right foot forward, cross it over the front of the left foot, and fold. Try to stretch your belly towards your knees, so folding with a straight, flat back first, getting your forehead down to the ground, or towards your knees rather. It's the last bit of our forward folds for this morning. And rolling yourself back up halfway. See if you can pick up your right foot, kick it forward, and step it back next to the left foot. Let's go over to the other side. You can stand your fingertips here if you like, or hands flat. It's slightly more challenging. Lifting up your left foot. It's like you're pulling the left leg up into the left hip socket. You're lifting your left butt as high as you can. That's it. Kick the foot forward, cross it over the front of the right foot. Again, you can bend your knees here and then folding forward, almost stretching your chest towards your toes. Nice few easy, slow breaths. Gazing up to your feet, pushing into your right foot, lift your left foot, kick it forward, and step it back next to your right foot. Walking your hands back forward into your high plank for your last vinyasa for the morning. Place your knees, chin and chest to the floor. Pull yourself through, breathe in, lift your chest up. Chin to chest, push to your knees. Bring your toes to touch behind you. Opening, sliding your knees wide to the outside edges of your mat. Push your bum to your heels, bring your forehead down to the mat, releasing your forehead. If you would like to take a sip of water, or just allow your heart rate to come down, or just to relax, you can stay here. And then bringing yourself, just rolling yourselves over onto your back. If you have a strap, if you have a towel, bring that. If you don't, it's 100%. You don't need to have one. It's just coming to lie down onto your backs for me. Drawing your right knee into your chest, squeezing your right knee towards your right armpit. When you're ready, you can take your towel or your strap and place it over the top of the ball, just behind the toes or below the toes of the right foot. Otherwise, if you don't have anything, bring your hands to behind your calf or the belly of your right leg, so just behind, above the right knee. Okay, from wherever you are, I want you to point the heel up to the roof and start to straighten your leg out. You can change your grip on the towel or on the strap, so maybe holding a little bit higher or a little bit lower, depending on how it feels for you. Grounding down through your left heel, flex your left toes back towards you. Start to pull the right foot back towards you. Maybe you're feeling little earthquakes, little shakes like I am. We try to lengthen from behind the knee, trying to push the shoulders down to the mat, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Remember, we have all the time in the world. You have the rest of your life to practice. So take it easy, start small, and work up to it. If you've got a strap or a towel, take your strap or your towel in one hand, so take it in your right hand. If you're holding onto the calf, you can just place your hands down your sides, pressing your hands firmly down, but open them up into a T position. All right. Taking your right leg, opening it out to the right hand side. Not too far that you're rolling over, just so that your left sit bone, your left butt stays down in the ground, and you're opening up your right leg to the side. If you can get the foot down, you're welcome to go for it, but stay down with your left butt on the ground. You can even use your left hand and put it onto your left thigh or your hip to help press it down a little bit. Pull your belly in, lift your leg back up to the center. One last time, pull your leg towards you, towards your face. Lift your head and your chest up. See if you can touch. I can't, I'm not even almost there. But we're just aiming to get the chin to the shin. Maybe you can hold on to your foot. Maybe you don't need the strap anymore. Keep the chest up. Draw the knee back into your chest and lie back down. Squeezing your right knee to your right armpit. And then sliding your right leg down onto the mat. Let's come over to the left-hand side. Draw your left knee into your chest. I'm just going to come see what some of you are doing on the screen. I'll keep demoing, or I'll just keep following my voice. So taking your strap or your towel or holding onto the back of your knee. Sliding that right leg down if you've got it up, or keeping the sole of the foot on the floor if that works for you. And then you can start to straighten out through your left leg. Remember to point the toes up to the sky and then the heels. So rather going for the heel, getting the heel up to the sky. Nice, guys, it's looking good. Make sure your lower backs are pressing firmly into the floor and you're really pushing your shoulders and your elbows towards the ground too. Trying to lengthen out from the back of your knee. Easy breaths. Sending the breaths all the way down to your belly. Maybe walk your hands a little bit up, either up your leg or up your strap or your towel. Holding with one hand, your left hand this time onto your strap or your towel, and starting to open your leg up towards the left hand side. Keeping the right sit bone firmly pressing down into the mat. Make sure that you're pressing down into your right heel, pulling your right toes towards your face so that your bottom leg is really active and grounding you into the floor. Using your right hand maybe to roll your right hip down, just light a little bit of pressure on the thigh or the hip. You notice that your rib cage might be popping. Your rib cage might be flaring, so it means that the belly is relaxed. See if you can pull your rib cage into your body, so pulling your belly in and trying to get the right side of your rib cage and the left side closer together. Pulling your leg back up to center. Good, maybe holding onto your calf, your foot, or keep holding onto your strap or your towel. Lift your head and your chest up. Try to get your chin to your shin. Lift up just a little bit higher. Pull your leg a little bit further back towards you. Squeezing your nose, your chin, your leg. Squeezing towards each other. Lowering down, drawing your left knee back into your chest. Giving your left knee a nice little squeeze. Squeezing the knee to the armpit. And then placing your left foot down to the ground. You can slide your legs out onto the mat, maybe getting yourself a blanket if you like, or if you have any final position that you feel like practicing, there is another 2 minutes or so. If you do practice headstands, guys, if you practice them, do practice them safely, because sometimes it is nice to finish off your class with an inversion. So that's a plow position or a headstand where your head is underneath your heart. So just being wherever you are safe. If you have any questions, ask them after class. Yeah, but you can take your last position, or if you're ready for corpse pose, you can lie down with your palms facing up, your toes out to the side. We've run slightly over time, so if you need to get going, you're welcome to do so. If you want to still practice a little bit. So we have the luxury of practicing from our homes, which is quite amazing. You can just stay for as long as you want to in this nice restful corpse position and kind of just allow yourself to really absorb, taking as much time as you need, making sure that your body feels comfortable, you feel relaxed, drawing in the nice cool air around you, feeling into the elements, feeling into your bodies. And I will leave you this morning to stay where you are for as long as you like. It's always a lovely time to use this opportunity now that our minds are calm and we've given our minds space to relax, to maybe even do a little meditation after your practice. Whether it's lying down or whether it's seated. I want to just say thank you guys for joining me in this morning's class. Hope that you guys go well and have a beautiful day. I'll be switching off my audio now, sending lots of love your way. It was great practicing with you. My audio will go off. I will probably switch my video off soon. Thank you so much. You guys can stay where you are. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. If you guys have any feedback, there's a little chat in the bottom of your screen. If you are on a computer, not too sure about a phone, you can leave me a little message there. Thank you so much, everyone.